we've been following this project along with Kevin from Neighborhood Fence and Deck, and I gotta say the project is coming along because we're breaking ground. Talk to me about where the project's at.
As you remember from the last episode, we had presented the client all these beautiful designs. If you're designing a full backyard, by the time we take your inspiration, we switch it over to 3D, and then you maybe have some revisions. That process took 6 to 8 weeks. Once he says everything's looking good, we're gonna give you a virtual walkthrough of your backyard the way it's gonna be when we build it. Once they approve that, it's go time. Next step, we're gonna turn that into 2D plans. Those are actually called construction plans. On-site measurements for whoever's gonna be installing this stuff, structural plans to get permission from the building department to build it, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna start to prepare contracts for you to actually build these things. So the cabana is its own contract. The hardscapes are their own contract. The pool deck, the railings, depends on how we part and parcel each section, but there's many contracts to be written for that with tons of detail. So that's the next step, right after you've approved your design.
Talk to me about the rough-in. So a lot of homeowners don't realize the infrastructure that goes into such a design. Talk to me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so like you said, the rough-in, that's the stuff that's pretty rough to look at. So at the beginning of the job, we're ready to move now. We've now engaged in contracts with you for all the stuff that you've seen. Maybe you phase it out, maybe you don't. But we are still gonna have an order of operations, and that's gonna look like starting with the underground buried infrastructure. So that means your hydro lines that power different areas, your plumbing. If we've got outdoor sinks, as you see in different spots here, a bathroom, you've got your irrigation, outdoor sound system. Those wires need to be hidden. You don't want to see them. We need foundations to support everything. We need retaining walls to hold everything back, especially on a hillside. So all that stuff happening immediately, even if it's for things that are going to be phased later, all the stuff that's going to make your project last forever, that has to happen first. And so that's where we're at in this stage as you're seeing it. Things are all dug up. We're bringing in concrete. We've excavated for the pool. We've got all the retaining wall to make sure everything's held. And we've pre-put our helical pile foundations for all these structures that we're going to tell you about in the next episode.
Talk to me about when you're ordering products as well, because in the background, when you're doing all of these rough-ins, you're also ordering products such as your Regal Ideas and making sure that you all have the wiring for it, right?
That's right. And like we said before, when we're designing, we designed a specific product. So when we actually are planning this, we design stuff we know we can get, stuff where we have relationships with the manufacturers. We understand their testing. Like you mentioned, Regal, their railing has been through crazy testing so that we know on a second story deck, we're gonna pass the engineering, no problem. When we submit this for a permit, it's no questions asked. Their railing's hurricane proof. It's got, a lot of testing towards it. Or for example, our outdoor lighting or the different types of stonework we're working with. We know they're in Ontario. We don't want something that the distributors maybe not bringing into our area. So we know all this before we even spec it into the design.
Perfect, I can't wait. Thank you so much, Kevin.
No problem, Mark. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.
For more information, visit markandmandy.com and stay tuned next week. We're covering the project again.
Thanks for watching The Mark and Mandy Show. Like our video by clicking below and subscribe to our YouTube channel.